Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by today. I'm going to try and do a tutorial on how I put this book together. I'm just going to do a quick, like, the bones. I'm not going to decorate it. I've already tried to do this once and I messed up because I'm going to have to figure it out as we go along, since when I made this I just made it up. So I'm going to do my best and try and show you how I made this and give you some measurements. Let me find a place to set this. Okay, so I already tried to make this video once and I messed up. So I've already got my folder cut. So what I did was I took a folder, a manila folder. I'm just going to use a manila folder for this one. When I made my original one, I used these folders here that I got from TJ Maxx. So they're decorative folders. And I thought I would just go ahead and try a manila folder. So what I did was I cut it down to the measurements, and the measurement is 6 1/4 wide. So, you know, just take a manila folder and cut it at 6 1/4. And so after I did that, I did have to corner around the edges right here, so I've already punched those, and I couldn't get my punch in this one, and so I just pushed this up here and cut it with the scissors. So I've already got those finished. And then the next thing I did was, you see how your folder has these little marks here? So you want to fold it up on the mark that's what is that, like an inch or whatever. So fold it up there so that your folder has enough room inside to be a little bulky. Okay. And so then the next thing I did was I measured up 3/4 of an inch on both ends, and I took my crocodile and I punched some holes here to fit my eyelets, and then I just took my eyelets and put them in with this little crocodile here. I'm not real good with this little gadget, but just stick them in there, squeeze on your eyelets, both ends, and you don't have to have eyelets. It just, you know, finishes it off really nice. So then you're left with this. So this is the, you know, the base of your book. And so next thing I want to do is show you how to make these pockets here. And so we'll make the shaker pocket first. And so what I did on my last video was I got ahead of myself. I put the ribbon in first, and then I couldn't open the pocket to put the shaker on the front. So the first thing we have to do is cut our pocket, and okay, I think this is the measurement, 12 at 7 1/4. So my paper's 12 inches tall, so we'll cut it at 7 1/4 here. Okay, and save your leftovers. So then you take this and you either score it or, you know, just crease it in the middle to make your pocket. Okay, and then the next step would be to make your shaker. So cut yourself a piece of acetate to fit over the top here, and it should measure 7 1/4 by, should be 6, yeah, 7 1/4 by 6. And then if you're sewing it, take it to your machine and stitch 3 sides. So I'm going to run this to my machine because I want to do this part for you, and I'm going to stitch that. And I'll do my best. If I can cut this part out, I will. If I can't, there'll be a little bit of silence. Okay, I've stitched the 3 sides here, and here's the opening for the sequins. And I've just got some sequins here that I've already got mixed up. So I'm just going to pick one and just empty that down in there like that. And then I want to go back to my machine and stitch this. Okay, so I've got my sequins pocket ready. And so let me show you. So on the opposite side of that, so here's the sequence page. On the opposite side, I put this little pocket here. It's best if you just go ahead and get it sewed on now if you're going to sew it on, or you don't have to if you're going to glue it. You can just glue it later. So the next step would be to sew that on. So when you look at your pocket, it would look like this would be like if you're looking at it in your book. So you would flip it over like this, and this is where you would put the pocket. So let me see. I want to use a piece of my, no, I can't use a piece of my scrap. So, okay, the measurement for the pocket, let's go ahead and measure that, is going to be 7 1/4. And then if you're going to do the border punch, you need to add like a 1/2 inch extra to allow for the border punch. So I'm going to do 3 by 7 1/4. Okay, I've got my little border punch here. Let me cut a piece of paper here. What a disaster. I don't have a room. Okay, let me open this back up. Okay, so did I say 3? Okay, let's do 3 by, just slice it off, 7 1/4, which is about right there. Okay, so that should be your pocket there. So then take your border punch and cut whatever shape you want, you know, on your edging. Okay. So then you would take this over to your machine and stitch it on. Sometimes I like to just add some glue to the corners just to hold it on while you're stitching. So I'm going to take this over and do that. I probably should have used a different color of paper so that it would stand out a little more for the tutorial purposes. So I'll flip it over like this so you can see it. Okay, so I've got this stitched on. So now we've got our pocket. Okay, and so the next thing you want to do is, okay, go down. Let me see. How far did I go down? Okay. So go down, take your ruler, and go down 1 inch and 5 inches. So I don't know if you can see that, but go down 1 inch, 1 inch and 5 inches, and then put a stitch across there. Or you could even put some glue there instead of stitching it if you wanted to, because you just need to hold that shut. And so then you take your ribbon, and you're going to have to open your little pocket here and try and get your ribbon up in that corner. You might have to get a pokey tool and get your ribbon started there in that. Oh, I've got it wadded up. Okay. So get your ribbon. Okay, and make sure you pull enough so that when it goes through the eyelets on the folder that you have enough left over to tie. So just pull it through these corners just like this. Okay, and then cut it off. That's probably too much, but let me pull it in just a hair. Okay. Then cut that off. And then take it back to your machine, or you can just glue it. So I'm going to take it back over and I'm going to stitch it. And if you want to, you can go ahead and whoops, yeah, I'm going to stitch it across here, and you can also stitch your ribbon across there if you want to, and it'll hold your ribbon real snug. Okay, so let me go do that. Okay, just trying to get my strings all clipped off. Okay, so now you have this, and if you want to, you can either glue it across there, or because you've got some stitching across here, just take it back to your machine and stitch it. Yeah, but make sure you leave this opening right here. But you know, that leaves this little empty spot, so, I'm not sure how I did that. Maybe you guys can figure that out. But yeah, so we've got this little space here missing some stitches. Like I said, I wasn't sure how I put that together. I'm just boggled by how I put that together. But I'm going to go ahead and stitch that closed. Okay, so I've got my end stitched. But I am missing some stitches here. So if you wanted to, maybe you could put a piece of trim across there. You know, just decorate it up. So we've got a pocket here, we've got a shaker here, and then this pocket here on the end. And so, next you take your ribbon and thread it through your eyelet here. And if you want, you can just save this for last and put your bags on first. That would probably be the best thing to do. But I'm going to show you how this fits. So these just fit right into your little eyelet holes here. And if you don't have eyelets, you know, make some reinforcers out of like cardstock. Glitter cardstock would be real pretty. Okay, so you pull your ribbon up through here, and then you would tie it. And so there's one of your inserts. Okay, so let's go ahead and make one of the bags. So, to make the bag, what I did was I took some clear bags, and my bags are, the bags I'm using are these bags that I get from Bags Unlimited, and they're 5 7/16 by 7 1/4. But you could probably use like a 5 1/2 by 7 would probably work. Just something that fits inside your folder. So I cut a piece of vellum to fit down inside there. And then what you want to do is you want to make your topper. So my topper is, okay, so you would take a piece of paper that measures 2 3/4 by 6, and then you would punch the edges if you want it to have a decorative edge, like this right here. If you want a decorative edge, you would go ahead and do that to it. So I've got this one here. Let me make sure I've got the right piece of paper. 6 by 2 3/4. Okay, so then you go ahead and edge punch your paper. Okay, and then you want to score it at 1 1/2 inches, and I can't get my big scoreboard over here, so I'm going to use this one and my little scoring tool. So you would score it at 1 1/2 inches, yeah, right there. Okay, and then fold it over, and there's your paper that will hold your bag in. And what I did was I went ahead and put my piece of vellum in there, or whatever backing paper that you want inside your bag, or you don't even have to have a piece of paper in there. And then stitch your, oh, first if you want a decorative stitch across here, you have to go ahead and stitch that. Okay, and then when you put this on, you would stitch it across here, and it stitches the paper to the bag and to the piece of paper that's inside, so it won't come out. Once you stitch all this together, it's stuck. It won't come out. And then you can just stick your embellishments inside here. You know, it has a nice little piece of pattern paper in the back. So I'm going to go stitch this. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to put a stitch across here, and then I'm going to put this on my bag, and I'm going to stitch it right here to my bag. Okay? Okay, so it should look something like this. And then you're going to make two of those, so you have one for the front and one for the back. And then you're going to take your bag and you're going to glue it on to, let me move some of this stuff out of the way. It's kind of distracting, isn't it? So then you're going to take this and you're going to glue it right here. Okay, so let me get some glue. Yeah, I'm going to use this Aleene's Fast Grab Tacky Glue. So maybe it'll stick on pretty quick. It grabs really quick so that you don't have to wait for your glue to dry. Sometimes it will buckle your paper though, and this folder is kind of thin. These folders, my husband said, came from Walmart. So I've been coffee dyeing a bunch of folders so that I can make another project. But I'm not sure you'd be interested in it because it's more of a shabby vintage project. So I may show it, not sure. Okay, so then you've got one of your bags adhered, just like this. And then you put your goodies in there and seal up your bag. Okay, and so then the next thing is the next pocket, and we're going to make it the same way as this pocket here. Let's just go ahead and use this one that I've already made, that I messed up on, because you make it the same way. You know, you stitch one from, you go down 1 inch, and then down here to 5 inches, and you put a stitch, put your ribbon in, and then you would stitch this up and stitch your ribbon in if you want to. You don't have to. And then because my next pocket is open on the top, this is so great that we can just use one that I've already made. And then what I did was I punched a little opening like that, and then take it to your machine and stitch it right here. So we're trying to make this pocket here, so it's opened on the top like this. And so I'm going to run to my machine and stitch that. You could glue it there if you prefer. So okay, this pocket's ready. So when you make this pocket, it's basically the same as the other. You just don't have to stop and put the shaker in and then, you know, put the little pocket on the other side. You just go ahead and start attaching your ribbon in and, you know, stitching down the side and doing the little hole. And that's it. So I hope that's explanatory. I'm not sure. And if you wanted to change up the color of ribbon, you know, you could make this one a different color. And then you just feed it through your little eyelets here. Oops, I need something to poke it with. Let's poke it with this. Caught through my sleeve. Okay. So you pull that one through. I'm not sure if this tutorial is very good, because, you know, I just kind of had to figure it out as I went. So then you have both of your pockets through here. Let me see, I gotta figure out which one is which. So this one is the back one, And I think this is the other side of it, so I'm just going to go ahead and tie it. If you have any questions, like if I don't explain myself very well, please go ahead and ask, and I'll try to get back as soon as I can. And so then this one ties here. They're pretty when you mix the color ribbons up. So there's the, it's almost finished. So you've got the bag, you've got this pocket here that opens on this end, then you got this pocket that opens up here, and then you just need one more bag, and I'll just go ahead and make it. While we're here, I think I'm going to have to get a sheet of paper. I've got like 25 sheets of this that I picked up from Tuesday Morning one time when they had it. You know, you can buy the packs of 25 for $2.99. That's what I did, so I've got a ton of it. Okay, so I want to take my cutter and cut this at 2 3/4 by 6. So I should have just went ahead and made this from the beginning. I thought I could just make one, but I might as well just go ahead and complete the whole book. So sorry about that. I know this is just all over the place. I'm trying to figure it out as I go. Do it. And so so then to punch your paper, which is the bag holder. Sophie. The little dog's playing around on the floor, making all kinds of noise. Okay, and then take your scoreboard and score it at, hard time seeing under there, I think right here is 1.5. So score it at 1.5. So you have 2 3/4 by 6, score at 1.5. Okay, I'm going to put this away. Okay. And then you would take this to your machine and stitch right here if you want the stitch. You don't have to, but it creates, you know, a little extra stitch. And it doesn't do anything, it's just decorative. Like, it doesn't hold the bag or anything. This one's what holds the bag. So I've got my piece of vellum here already cut to fit inside my bag. So, you know, that would be whatever size bag you have. Cut your paper down to fit inside. And then line it up real nice and straight. That's not straight. Okay, we're going to leave it right there. And then take it over to your machine. Put your decorative stitch on first without the bag, and then put the bag in, and then stitch the bag in. So I'm going to go do that. Okay, so I've got that done. And if you can't stitch, you can always use double-sided tape and just put tape, you know, on your bag and or on the inside of your paper and stick your bag to it. You know, if you can't stitch, you can always use double-sided tape in there instead of stitching. So that would work really well. Okay, and so excuse me, then we're going to glue this one on this side here. And I'm sorry this is so long. I wish it was better. I wish I was more organized and like knew what I was doing a little better, but just kind of guessing, you know, looking at my own work and figuring it out as I go. So I hope it's not too sporadic. I know I should have went ahead and put this on when I put the other one on instead of doing it again. So there we go. So now we've got And of course you would put your goodies in and seal your bag up, but I'm not going to seal them right now. I'm just going to leave them open. And so here we go. So here's the folder, and you open it up, and there's your bag for goodies. And then here's your pocket with the shaker. It's got the opening here. Okay, and then you have a pocket here, and then this, you have this pocket here, which you put your goodies inside the top, and then you have another bag in the back. Okay, and so that's it. And then all you do is, you know, decorate the front, put the goodies inside, and put your trims on. I do have pom-pom trim around my shaker, and I did glue it on the shaker side here. So I adhered with hot glue my pom-pom trim to my acetate. You have to be careful though, or you'll melt it. So be real careful with that. And then put your goodies in here. This one I put some napkin trim across here, and then this crochet trim, and yeah, that's what that one looks like. And then this one here, I just embellished it and stapled on a piece of acetate here, a piece of ephemera. Put the pom-pom trim down this side. On this side, it's just decorative, so I made the banners and glued them on, and then I put this strip of fabric trim on and the piece of ribbon, and then adhered the little bows, the little plastic bows, and then filled this up with rosettes. I also added this little tab here, and that's it, and that's how I made it. And I hope you can take this tutorial and use it and make one. I mean, I hope, you know, that I've given you enough information that it's possible to recreate one. So anyway, I'll catch you guys on my next video.